Hey guys, Dave from the Centurions Review. Today I'm doing a playthrough of NORAD with the Solitaire rules. I did a review of this game on my website, so check it out when you get a chance. It's a decent game. The difference between the Solitaire game and the multiplayer game is when you start the game, you do not examine to see which Russian bombers are decoys, and you you don't examine the chits here for the Americans to see which are the surface-to-air missile sites and which are the decoys. You just put those all face down so you don't know what they are. And you, of course, you place the fighters face up. And this is using the Canadian variant rules where you have Canadian units. So let's get started with the game. The Russian bombers may not stack, but however, when they reach a city, they can stack up to 3. It's a special rule. We'll get into that later. So let's start it out. The Russians have to move at least 4 bombers in the first turn. This is their start line. I'm going to move all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. 4. And just so you guys know, if you haven't read my review, this is a diceless game, so basically any combat that occurs, all units involved are destroyed. This was meant to be a very simple game. So actually, I think I'm just going to do that for the first turn. First turn as far as U.S. forces, this Canadian fighter can move 6. He'll move to this square and destroy this bomber. Let's see if it was a decoy. No, it was a regular bomber, so that was a good move. Alright, let's go to turn 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. And let's bring some more Russian units on the board. Actually, this guy will start over here. Here. For those who've played the game before, notice that when this bomber went to the city, I didn't test to see if it was a regular bomber to see if it blew up the city. That's all going to occur at one time at the end of the game. So any bombers that make it to a city, we do not reveal whether there's a surface-to-air missile site or not. That will be determined at the end of the game. It's done a little bit different for the Solitaire game. So, let's see, American units. This one will, oops, sorry, hit that plane there, and that had a nuke on board. It wasn't a decoy, so that was a good move. This one here will take out this bomber. That was a decoy, so that was a waste of a fighter. Oops, no, he doesn't have enough space to move. This Canadian fighter will go here to intercept that. And that was a live unit. Alright, so let's go to the next turn. This one's going to move here, because I don't know if either of these bombers are decoys, so you might as well have several on there in case one of them's a decoy. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This game's from 1973, the year of my birth. It was from Conflict magazine number 4. I'll show you what the magazine looks like. So if you ever see this at auction or something, you can pick it up. You can get this pretty cheap, but I mean, for 1973, it's not a bad game. The games back then seemed to be pretty simple, but one other simple game from back then, I think it was called The Alamo, which later became The Alamo Remembered by Victory Point Games. That one was diceless too, and I didn't really like it. This is one of the few diceless war games that I seem to like. It's not bad. Actually, no, I don't want to start that there. And let's see what the Americans are going to do. This fighter is going to intercept this bomber. That was a decoy. This fighter will go here. Another decoy. And this fighter will intercept here. That was a decoy. So the Americans are wasting a lot of fighters. Oh, that's out of range. So let's go to the next turn with the Russians. This will move here. So the Russians want to destroy 100 points worth of cities in order to be victorious. So that one will attack Winnipeg. And the U.S., their basic goal is just to prevent the Russians from destroying 100 points worth of cities. And these are the last Russian units coming on the board. Alright, let's see if the U.S. wants to intercept anything. Let me move the camera here so you can see a little bit more of the battlefield. Alright, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this one's going to intercept this guy. That was a live bomber. Alright, that's already hit Winnipeg, so I can't intercept it. This will intercept this one, live bomber. And this will go here. That was a live bomber. And this one will take out this one. That was live. And over here, take out that bomber. That was a dummy. Alright, so next turn, this one's going to double team this city. What city do we have here? Quebec. This bomber will attack Quebec. He's going to double team that city. In the two-player game, as soon as a bomber gets above a city, you reveal the units there to see if any are surface air missile or dummy sites. But they're doing it a little bit different for the Solitaire, so that'll all be resolved at the end, as I mentioned. Alright, let's see if we have any U.S. fighters that can do anything. 3, 4, 5. He's out of range. This one's gonna attack that fighter, or that bomber. That was a live bomber. And this fighter here from Washington, D.C. will come up here to intercept this bomber. That was a live bomber. So, let's go do one more Russian turn. 1, 2, 3. This will attack Denver. That will attack that city. And this will attack New York. Alright, we got a few fighters left. This one has range to get this one. Yeah, that was a live bomber. And we have this one here. Can he reach anything yet? 3, 4, 5. Not yet. Alright, so next turn the Russians will move. He'll go to there. 2, 3, 4. And this will hit, what is this, Minneapolis. and this will hit Toronto. So the last U.S. fighter will intercept this one, which was a live bomber. And I think all the bombers have gone onto spaces here with cities. So let's resolve this. We have 2 bombers here, and that was a dummy site, so they successfully nuked Anchorage. 2 bombers here by Seattle. That was a dummy site too, so they successfully nuked Seattle. Down here, that was a dummy site, so Portland is gone too, so they're taking out all the blue states. Denver, another blue state, that had a surface-to-air missile site there, so it destroyed the bomber, saving Denver. Oh, this bomber here, my mistake, this turn would go to Quebec, so let's see if, what's at Quebec, nothing there, so, but the bomber was a decoy, so nothing happened. Let's see what we have here. We have Winnipeg, and both of them were nukes, so that's destroyed. And Minneapolis here, that was a dummy there. Let's see if that was a live bomber. Yeah, that was a live bomber. And we have Toronto, that was a decoy, so Toronto survives. And Quebec, there was a surface-to-air missile site there, so that destroyed the bomber, so Quebec lives. Boston has an anti-aircraft / SAM site, so that took out the aircraft. So let's count points here. Russians got 5 points for Anchorage, 7 for Seattle, so they're at 12. Portland, that brings them to 17. Winnipeg, 22. Minneapolis, 27, so it was a U.S. victory. So as you can see, it's a real simple game. With the multiplayer game, it's a little more interesting because you're going against a thinking opponent, where this is just kind of, the 2 sides are just moving to whatever they think is best. So anyhow, hope you liked it, and thanks for watching, and please click like on this video if you like it and subscribe to my channel. Thanks.